I'm Graham Waterton and I spend a lot of my time guiding on the chalk streams. And one of the questions I'm always being asked is, what's the best landing net? So we've got a selection of landing nets, some are good, some are bad, and we thought we'd run through them and show you what they're like. The first one is called a scoop net, and as you can see it's relatively short, one piece, nothing folds, nothing to get caught up, and a lot of them come from America and they're beautifully made. Different types of wood, some of them are engraved and painted, they're almost works of art. But if you do use them, their biggest drawback is the shortness of the handle. And they were really designed for fishing in small rivers where you're wading, where all you have to do is literally lean down and scoop a fish up. But as you can see here, where you've got a margin, this is a particularly wide margin, there's no way that you can get close enough to get in to land a fish with a net like that on a chalk stream. So whilst they're very beautiful, and there's certainly some of the smaller parts of the river, smaller chalk streams where you're wading, they're fine, but they're not really that practical for most chalk stream fishing. The next one is probably the one that I had when I first started, which is a collapsible net. And these can be fixed through that little clip. You can either have them on your belt or you can have them on your back hook on the back of your vest or your jacket. And they're still favoured by a lot of people. The only trouble is if you wear them on your waist, that net is always dragging through brambles and it gets caught up with leaves and bushes and all the rest of it and is a bit of a pain. And inevitably, when you want to come to use it, and the trick is that having got it off your belt, you flip it up, it locks, and you can normally pull it out and extend it. But normally they pull out and extend, but inevitably when you're ready to net a fish, it won't unlock because the net is caught up and it gets caught up round the hook and it won't open up. So they're popular, but again, they're not hugely practical. The next group are these three here, which are the fixed size nets. So although they have a hinge to open up, the net stays at the same size. It doesn't collapse like that one does. But again, the principle is the same. They have a clip that can fix on to either a belt on your trousers or on your waistcoat. And again, you flip it up and it locks. And a lot of them have then an extendable handle, which you can sometimes do with your foot while you're playing a fish with the other hand. And again, that one, nice little net, nice long handle. It could even reach well over most margins for you to get your fish. That net is quite small. So when you go to the next size, which is that one, same principle, it opens up and locks. That too has an extendable handle, so exactly the same principle. But this one has a slightly longer handle. Again, it flips up, but you can see the comparison of the two. That one is significantly taller. And this one is probably the most useful that I use a lot because that will reach well over any margin to enable you to get a fish, and the bag size is good enough for a good sized fish on a chalk stream. They're probably the most popular and the most useful. When we then come to these next two, are known as guy nets, and these were originally designed for salmon fishing, particularly when you're on your own. So the idea with these is that you wear them over your shoulder and your head. They're generally pretty good at keeping out of the way. There's not too much to hang down, not too much to stick up. And let's assume that you've hooked your fish and you're playing your salmon and you're holding the rod in your left hand. Then by flipping open the Velcro at the bottom, the net seems to collapse, but you've still got that strap. And then with your foot, you can extend it, and you've then got a long net which is attached to you. So if you get the net ready too early, you can leave it in the water while you continue to play your fish. You can even move around and it's attached to you. And also when you've got your fish in the net, you can also let go of it, grab it a bit further down and then pull it to one side. So the strapping used to be an old leather strap, but they tended to perish and they were never that flexible. These days you now get these canvas and Velcro nets, which are much better. They do come in various sizes. That has got a round. This one is a slightly oval, but it's exactly the same principle with the same sort of strap. And you can actually get guy nets in trout sizes that are quite small, and again, they're not bad either, but I still prefer that sort of easily collapsible net. The last one here is, again, it's a salmon net. As you can see, it's very big. It's also very good for pike fishing, but they're quite heavy and quite cumbersome to use. The strap isn't that long and they're quite tight to put on, and it's very difficult to get it off. And then you've got to extend it by pressing that little button. Then that slides open and you've then got your net in one hand, but it's almost impossible to do all of that single-handed. So what these are so good at is for gillies to carry or to have them in a boat, because you do need two hands to get them ready. But they are very good, very robust, very strong, and very good for landing big fish, salmon or pike. The one that this also has, this is a McLean net. A number of these are McLeans, which are made in New Zealand. One of the advantages in this one is that it's called a weigh net. So if you take that off, leave your fish, and you can see there that it has its own built-in scales. And the scales are very good. You do need to look after them with scales. If they get wet or gritty, the scales tend not to be too accurate after a while. But again, it's a very good, hard wearing all-round net for bigger fish. But I suppose if there had to be one, and I've already alluded to it, for chalk stream fishing, my favourite is that one. Extendable handle, good for still waters, good for rivers, a good all-rounder, and packs up very neatly to be able to put onto your waistcoat or your belt, and that sits nice and comfortably on your back. So that's one of my favourites. But the one I would avoid is the dear old scoop net. Pretty they are, but useless they also are for chalk streams. Unless you're wading.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.